Well, welcome to the devotion for Wednesday, May the 20th. If you're following along with us as we read 1 Samuel, you recognize that King Saul was very threatened by David. He wants him put to death. And in the beginning of chapter 20, David says to Jonathan, his friend, that your dad is looking to kill me. And Jonathan says to him, David, that's not so. You're not going to die. For indeed, my father, he won't do anything, either great or small, without telling me first about it. And so why should my father hide this thing from you? Well, David took an oath again and said, your father certainly knows that I have found favor in your eyes. And he has said, do not let Jonathan know this, lest he be grieved. In other words, your dad's not going to let you know what he wants to do to me. But David makes this statement that I've quoted so many times and thought about. But truly, as the Lord lives and as your soul lives, there is but a step between me and death. We should not live life focused on dying, but we should live life understanding that every one of us are only a heartbeat away, a step away. And you know, I think if we did that, I mean, what if sometime maybe when we were talking about somebody, if it crossed our mind within the next 30 seconds, I'm going to be in the presence of the Lord, then would we say what we're about to say? Or some of our actions? When I read the New Testament, I see us charged with living for eternity. Not focusing upon this world, but focusing on eternity, knowing that the Lord knows everything about us. And you know, so it really is this deal. I'm sitting here doing this devotion right now. I got no guarantee I'll even finish it. There is but a step between me and death. And so I challenge you to try to live your life in such a way to know that your actions, you will give an account for them, both good and bad. But then he goes on in the end of the chapter, and so David doesn't show up at the table for this meal. And Jonathan, you know, the conversation's happening. Jonathan's going to cover for him. And so Saul asked Jonathan, hey, where is David? And he tells him that he asked permission to go to a sacrifice of his family in Bethlehem. And Saul becomes furious, even to the point of trying to kill his own son. But he says to him, you son of a perverse, rebellious woman, do I not know that you have chosen the son of Jesse to your own shame and to the shame of your mother's nakedness? For as long as the son of Jesse lives on the earth, you shall not be established, nor your kingdom. Saul wasn't telling Jonathan anything he did not already know. Remember back early on, Jonathan initiated a covenant and entered into it with David. It was Jonathan's right to be heir to the throne and be the next king. I love Jonathan. I love his story. Here is a man who is willing to lay down his plans, his promotion, his power, his prestige to help promote somebody else to the place that he knows God would have them be. Hey, what a marvelous way to live life. You know, Jesus laid down his deity and became human for you and me, that we may take on the righteousness of the Lord and be endued with all the blessings. Hey, let's live today with great thanksgiving for what the Lord Jesus did to bring us into the covenant of the Father.